So when mankind unfortunately fell from grace, it was really in the mental quadrant because greed or pride entered into the fallen angels, and then they influenced mankind through pride and arrogance. So we have to make a conscious choice if we desire to resurrect mankind from the fallen state of being in this dimension without really having total recognition of the higher octaves and the heaven worlds, to rise above the thing that created the fall, partly which was pride and rebellion, of course, but on the 3 o'clock line is pride, arrogance. So on the 3 o'clock line of the cosmic clock, Aries, we choose to master God control with the sun and the air element. And as we move from Aries to Taurus to Gemini, where the mind of God is really amplified in Gemini, an air sign in the air quadrant, right? Air sign in the air quadrant. Gemini, really. We are preparing in the double air to go into the double water, which is now Cancer. Cancer is the water sign and the water quadrant. So to prepare to master water, we have to master air first. And so in this quadrant, even these 5 days together we started with earth, then water, then air, really energies cycle from the etheric to we call it the etheric, but it's really the memory or the fire body, but above fire is ether. So really the etheric, if we were to rename what we call the etheric, it would be even beyond the fire body, ether, right? It would be the fifth element. So ether, then fire, then air, then water, then earth. So we're starting at the earth, going up with Mother Earth through the water yesterday and today in air. We desire to master this important quadrant so that we can help mankind to awaken to mindfulness, to utilize their higher minds for God good around the world, to be liberated from the machinations of those who may be very developed mentally, yet who lack emotional intelligence, or let's say spiritual intelligence, so that they become so ensconced in their brain and their human mind, the carnal mind, that there's no space within them, within that mind, for the mind of God, the mind of Christ, the mind of Buddha, the mind of the Divine Mother. We already cleared the air, right, for Claire de Lys. What does Claire de Lys do, though? Instill within the minds the holy wisdom, most holy Trinisophia, or Theosophia. Theo, God, Sophia, wisdom. The holy, or God, wisdom of the Divine Mother. So part of the purpose of Meru University is to do this, because it's the yellow branch of the heart center. It's the yellow, or the wisdom plume of our movement. The heart center is a pink movement. It's really a ruby movement, and it's also a love-wisdom movement. So it's really love and wisdom combined through the heart-mind connection, which is really imperative to have that balance of wisdom and love. And then the fruits of that through work and service becomes the blue, and so you have the perfect balance. Yet right now we're focused on the yellow to bring that illumination to mankind so that each and every one may know the truth, and the truth will set them free. Once they know the truth, they have to make a choice to either abide by the truth and live by the truth, or if they know the truth, if they don't abide by it, that's their choice, then they will deal with the consequences. Yet if we help to awaken and illumine them, then really it's their free will that will determine how far they go up on the path, whether they will ascend, whether they will fulfill their dharma, their dhamma, as well as their dharma, and whether they will, self-realize in totality in this life or maybe a future life. So how many people have chosen definitively that you will be self-realized in this life? Fully self-realized. Okay, almost everybody. Well, basically everybody. And if you didn't raise your hand, it's okay. You may not have determined or said it with determination yet, but at a certain point, you will come to that point of clarity and intensity where you require the thrust to be fully self-realized, right? And then full God self-realization leads to the ascension. I believe that you can be fully self-realized and not maybe quite ready for the ascension. Maybe there's still a little karma to balance or something that must be done. Yet typically, when you're fully self-realized, you're ready to go on to the next higher dimension and serve at a higher level. So I'm so grateful that I saw virtually every hand go up, because that is an imperative. It's a divine imperative to determine and to affix your consciousness with spirit and to say, I will be, and then that turns into I am self-realized. So once you say I can, then I will, and then finally I am, and then when you say I am, you're in the state of self-realization because it's in the present moment. I am in the present tense. So let's say I am self-realized in God now.
I am self-realized in God now.
I am
self-realized in God now.
I
am self-realized in God now.
And the self-realized state is reality. I mean, it's right there in the words. So that is the true reality. Everything else is kind of mayak and illusion and a phantasm. Once you acclaim, you proclaim, and you claim this state of being, you lock into it. It becomes a nexus for your consciousness to flow through, and everything you do, say, think, feel, and act upon. And so you live, move, and have your being in this like pre-self-realized state that you're perfecting. So we can't acclaim necessarily we are the totality of God, yet we can acclaim and proclaim and claim that we are of the quality of the Divine One, that essence lives, moves, and has its being within us. And so we know that there's always room for the expansion of the quantity of light that we can carry and emanate and project and be. Yet qualitatively, we have the full energy and essence of God now glowing through us, flowing through us, manifesting through our heart, our awareness, and every cell of our being. And because we've locked into that, it becomes a God's self-fulfilling prophecy and matrix, right? It becomes a God's self, I'm going to say God's self rather than self, so we don't think of the lesser self, but a God's self-fulfilling prophecy and matrix. And so that's why we give affirmations, because each time we give them, it activates, energizes, and multiplies this inner affirmation of beingness that we have determined is who we are and what we are and why we are. You know, so the why are we God? Because we were created as godly beings, sons and daughters of God in God's image and likeness. The why is already kind of there behind everything, because God desired to create and express more of Him, herself as the creation. So the creation is an expression of God's essence of self flowing out and manifesting in this virtuous, beautiful dynamic of nature and the universe and the cosmos. And it's all part of God, but we're still part of God. I mean, the creation is still part of God. It's created by God, is still part of God, so we are still part of God. Never have been separate. We've separated ourselves in consciousness temporarily, but we know that that's even mayak, because it's just a phantasm and it's unreality. In reality, we are always one with God, and we always have been. The awakening to that realization beyond all religious doctrine and dogma is the freeing moment of a life. When you are free to perceive of yourself as a godly, beautiful being of light, it frees you from all the doctrinaire precepts that have limited mankind and said you're a sinner, you're less than, you're imperfect, you're not good enough. And we've been beaten down, sometimes in this life, often in previous lives, by ourselves and others. And that matrix has been like this ironclad, mechanized chain, that we've been locked into. Once we proclaim that we are a spirit spark of the one, that we are of the light and we are light, then it is the moment when the larva comes out of the chrysalis and you're free. And then it's just a matter of keep flying and gathering the nectar and doing what you do so that you can be in that self-realized state of the bee that has gathered all the pollen that it possibly could in a lifetime, and it's in the hive next to the mother, and finally it transcends that body form, and then that little bee spirit goes back to Venus, probably, right? So after this life, when you've done everything you can possibly do, your spirit will leave this form. It's just a shell anyway, and you're not going to have any fear about it, right? Has everybody pledged not to have fear of death at the time of your transition? Yes. It'll be a joyful exiting. A joyful exiting. And you should encourage your family and loved ones who are going to be there with you not to fear your transition. They should celebrate your life as a beautiful life lived to the glory of God. And then you're free to just ascend to wherever the Holy Spirit will take you. You'll have your life review, but, self-realized, you'll be with your beloved, your buds and the fruits. Be with your heavenly buds and the heavenly fruits, the angels, the masters, all your sponsoring masters, and it'll just be amazing. So now capture all that into your heart now. All that joy of being fully self-realized in totality, never more to have to embody unless you and God decide that's okay, if you want to come back and serve. But you will be fully self-realized and acclaiming and having that as an essence, as an engram in your life that you wake up to every day and say, oh God, how can I glorify you today? Oh my Lord, how may I serve you today? Oh my beloved, I love you so much. Share your love through me with everyone that I meet today. Oh Holy Spirit, let me help someone or maybe a few people today in a magical, miraculous way. And I know your Spirit will move through me to do that. When you do this day after day after day, your life is just magical. It's miraculous. It's beautiful. It's divine. And you live a holy life. You live a charmed life. You're Prince and Princess Charming. And you're charming to everybody. And you are the beloved. You are beloved of God. Our mindfulness creates the pathway for our ascent. Our mindfulness is a thoroughfare for our God self-realization to be complete. Our divine mindfulness co-creates with the beings of air and the great masters who have gone before us this cherished avenue for the divine expression of our true nature every day through our gifts and talents. Our mindfulness creates the thought forms for our Buddhic nature to embody through us and to charge forth its golden radiance throughout our aura, streaming forth as a blessing and a healing unguent to souls that we may never meet outwardly, yet who we cherish and love because they are part of God even as we are. Our mindfulness is the mastery of the air element to the max, because we've cleared out our mind so that only divine thoughts and hopeful, helpful, and holy ideations will perfuse themselves through our minds and even our physical brain. What we place our attention upon, we become. So when our mind is set on divine principles, values, and precepts, and these holy engrams that are often like divine geometric forms and colorful manifestations, we draw them deep within, and that mindfulness embeds them and etches them through our whole being. And every cell of our bodies now becomes a little Buddha being. So imagine every cell of your body is a smiling Maitreya, a little Buddha being smiling. Every cell. So billions of smiling suns or Buddha beings inside of you. Okay, here we go. You have to clap the people's knees on the other side of you. Okay, now do your best. Okay, now you are my friend. And I think that's all I have to say.